What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome to a very late video. I figured I'd just post it tonight because it's initial reactions to the Madden 21 beta. Obviously, with the beta, you're not allowed to record gameplay, share screenshots, all that stuff, which makes complete sense. You don't want that stuff getting out there. And to everyone that's like, posted videos and stuff like that, don't do that. That's how being an idiot is gonna be. Like, Madden doesn't want to do a beta anymore because too many people kind of was doing all that dumb stuff on the internet, and now we can't actually go in and try and beta test it. Give some feedback and try to see if we can squash some bugs. So, and as of right now, I don't have any beta codes to give away. Sometimes you do get them, sometimes you don't, and currently I have yet to get blessed with those. So stay tuned to my Twitter at PapaXC4, because if I do get an opportunity to do a giveaway, I will be posting them on there to my followers. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a different review, different feedback from my first impressions of the beta. A lot of times I would just kind of jot notes, and try to compile it into a video. I'm doing it live right now. I'm basically going to chop up what you're going to be seeing in this video, essentially my live reaction to it and to the gameplay, because there's 4 teams you can play. You can play Kansas City, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Atlanta. The reason why this is going to be important, because I want to kind of try with some of the more overpowered players. Obviously I want to see what Patrick Mahomes does. How does he play? Any different kind of animations, his throwing mechanics. Does Lamar Jackson play like Lamar Jackson? Does Tom Brady play like Tom Brady and just destroy at the line of scrimmage? These are things that I want to try to give you guys feedback on how I think the direction ultimately of the gameplay, because there's no franchise mode, nothing like that in the beta. It's just exhibition matches. So right now I am kind of peeking here at the X factors. Obviously, like the beta that was last year, the ratings are not finalized, and they usually will just kind of max these guys out for some of these abilities that I'm seeing. So you could try everything, because ultimately they, a big aspect of the beta would be getting feedback on hopefully nerfing and buffing potentially some of the superstar abilities. So before I get into this, I'm going to kind of go through stuff. If you guys did get access to the beta, please, for the love of God, provide your feedback. I have seen in years past, we found bugs. Special teams bug anime, and we were able to identify in the beta, and it was not there in the game at launch. For the love of God, if you remember Madden post betas, the first month you pretty much couldn't play the game because you knew there was going to be something incredibly game breaking. So the beta is very, very valuable. So if you are one of the select few that did get access to the beta, or you eventually get access to the beta after you're done watching this video over the weekend, please get feedback. That's how we get a better game. So I am trying to decide what team I'm going to be. I think I'm going to be Kansas City and go against Baltimore. They'll give me the truest read of what, this whole do teams. Like, the first thing I want to try to identify and give feedback on from this beta is the new play calling, right? Weren't they supposed to fix the AI play calling? And I want to see if teams play like they're supposed to play. When I play the Chiefs, is it, a little bit of air raid? Mahomes constantly trying to get it deep. When I play the Baltimore Ravens, is Lamar Jackson trying to run the ball first? Kind of like something like that. Is Tom Brady, when I play the Bucks, is he adjusting at the line of scrimmage? And is Matt Ryan, if I play the Falcons, is he just throwing it to Julio Jones? So that's one thing I want to see. We're looking at the X Factor's abilities. I'm saying right now, there's a Lamar Jackson Truz ability, which has already kind of been talked about. They leaked it a little bit from the, all the stills and stuff they posted on the website from the gameplay blog and deep dive. And the Truz, it means he can't fumble as a result of a tackle. That sounds really, really overpowered. Can't fumble. So I guess that kind of eliminates some of the fumbling issues that mobile quarterbacks have. So is that a fix to a gameplay kind of thing? Like, I'm giving you feedback on that right now. That's awesome. If there's going to be ability, obviously an X Factor ability is going to be few and far between, and most mobile quarterbacks might not get to that point. But they might have just, by adding a new X Factor ability, got rid of a game-breaking mechanic for a style of quarterback that has kind of become a meme as of late. But generally speaking, I'll say, I don't want to go through everything, because I don't know if this is on the fringe of, because I'm kind of literally just narrating what I'm seeing in a way that's like, I don't want to be doing like the secondhand smoke of, leaking gameplay and information like that. So I'm just going to keep it at the Truz ability because that's already been provided from EA. But I will say, like I said, Truz has already been known, and that's kind of what it does. And there's a lot more superstar abilities that I'm looking at here of just the players, because you don't get the whole rosters, you just get the players that are on the 4 teams. and I'm seeing, I literally couldn't count, 20? At least 20, if not more, new superstar abilities, like just the default superstar abilities, unless I literally have just no recollection of what was in Madden 20. But yeah, what you can take from this initial part is that Lamar Jackson's X Factor that no one really knew what it was, even though we knew it existed, is can't fumble as a result of a tackle. And I will say that there's definitely a lot more, at least appears to be a lot more superstar abilities that are going to be available for your players. So that's awesome. That's exactly, if they're going to continue to go in the trend of superstar X Factors and superstar abilities, which I generally think are fun and are enjoyable and a nice addition to the game, you definitely always are going to want more and more abilities. As long as something is not too overpowered, what's wrong with having more superstar abilities, especially ones that aren't necessarily locked into like animation? Because I know that's a big hang up for a lot of people, is that, oh, there's just more animations, more stuff to deal with it, less. And I get that, but not every superstar ability does that. Sometimes you get passive abilities, and I think that's maybe more so the better direction. Get players that could potentially get XP boost and stuff that helps maybe their development or their retirement or their ability to heal from injuries and stuff like that. Maybe some Lane Johnson. The Lane Johnson superstar ability of like miraculously injury recovery. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know. I in a way I want to just start talking about the new superstar abilities, but I also feel like I'm gonna let someone else risk that one. So yeah, let's get some gameplay impressions here. First gameplay impressions. I will be the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm gonna go against Baltimore because I want to see. There's no easier way. This is a perfect, great decision, EA, for making these two of the 4 teams that you can play in the beta, because if this improved gameplay, if this improved AI play calling, AI playbooks, teams are supposed to play and feel like there's, in real life. No better team to go up against than Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. Does Lamar Jackson take off and run at least 12 times, 10, 12 times? Obviously, it has to be scaled down to the quarters here, but that's what I want to see. Let's get into it. Tell you right now, if this is how it's working, as the game loads up, there's going to be a lot more opportunities in Madden 21 to get good and cool screenshots for thumbnails and YouTube videos, because there's like a goddamn mixtape warm-up of a lot of things going on. If this is something that's going to be unique and it will constantly update with your new players, I am actually generally really liking the opening presentation. Outstanding job. And I feel like that might be where we stop being super pumped about what we're getting, but that is actually fire. Like, the load up is generally different. I think it's better than like what we got in Madden 20, where you kind of ran out with the pyro and stuff. It looks cool. It definitely looks cool. It feels like a real broadcast. Feels like a hype video, like a short hype video that you would see at the beginning of like an ESPN broadcast or something like that. Would you believe me that if on the opening kickoff I fumbled it and they returned it for a touchdown? Because that's totally not what just happened. I wish I could give feedback on the commentary. It doesn't really sound that different, and when I play on PC, obviously you can do it on console too. I just mute the commentary because I'm not, obviously you don't want to hear him keep repeating the same thing pretty much every other game. All right, I'm playing on All Madden, and I'm starting to realize I probably shouldn't be playing this on All Madden. All right, my gameplay is going to be trying to get Tyreek Hill into an X Factor. He does have an ability. I'm not going to say what it is, and obviously ratings can change. Last year they changed drastically from the beta, but I really do think, let's see what a Tyreek Hill, like, I just want to see how overpowered are the overpowered players. So very close to getting Tyreek into an X Factor, and obviously he's the fastest player of the game. So how OP would his ability be for streaks? Let's find out. And yeah, that thing that we saw from the gameplay beta, that when you score a touchdown, I just get a touchdown to Travis Kelce, you get that little like interaction menu with your analog sticks. You could pick and choose one of 4 options for your celebration. I mean, again, I think as much as anyone, I scoffed when you see like celebrations, new ways to celebrate in like the trailers and stuff. You're like, oh great, if you're highlighting celebrations, my god, what's the rest of the game look like? But I will generally say, if there's going to be celebrations in the game, which there should be, at least having something like that prompts like, how much swag do you want to have on this touchdown celebration? It's more options. Anytime you get more of anything in Madden from a gameplay or franchise standpoint, you need to be friggin' happy. One thing when I'm playing, I'm a filthy user on the D-line. I'm going to be using Chris Jones, and I have been using him because he's clearly the best option from Kansas City. But it has like that on-field prompt, as you can see when you've looked at the gameplay. It shows rush moves, and it gives you how many moves, like a meter of how many moves you can use. It's kind of like a big, bulky, like you're in a tutorial, and it's always constantly like having that big menu right by the gameplay. And I feel like usually like turn that off. I want as little stuff, little distraction on the field as humanly possible. But I kind of feel something that's important as like knowing how many pass rush moves you have left and stuff like that, because it's kind of like a fatigue thing. It's pretty vital. So like I don't think you can't not always have that on-field indicator of how many pass rush moves you have. And it is definitely a little bit distracting. So that's definitely something, I don't know. That's probably the biggest thing I noticed while I was playing defense. And so far, one drive in, and Lamar Jackson didn't try to scramble once. Let's keep an eye on this. Oh my God. Lamar Jackson definitely runs. I mean, I can't recall how many times I would play Baltimore Ravens in Madden 20, and Lamar Jackson maybe ran 2-3 times a game. This is my halftime report. I'm at halftime. Lamar Jackson sure as shit runs the ball. My God. Michael Vick on all Madden. And you know what? I kind of want Lamar Jackson to play like Michael Vick on all Madden, because that's genuine. And I'm not going to get the same experience when I go play Matt Ryan. I'd say for now, generally for a gameplay initial reaction here, it doesn't feel a whole lot different than Madden 20. It's like every new game, though. I just got this. Oh my God, that's brand new. There's new animations. There's new animations. I just literally destroyed someone with Chris Jones. But generally for the gameplay, it kind of, it's the ultimate honeymoon phase. There's obviously going to be enough different that it won't play like it'll feel like this is not Madden 21 feeling, but it's definitely different. And that's kind of what we're getting. But it's always new. It's initial impressions. I will say tackling feels a little better for sure. The tackling animation is going kind of low, less just weird angles, I could definitely say. And that was something that they highlighted earlier in the gameplay blog. Ooh, and at least on all Madden, I will say, leading your pass. Because, I mean, of course, I wouldn't be just chucking the ball to Tyreek Hill down the field every time. But leading your pass feels a little more important this year, which is always a good aspect, I think, when you're playing as quarterback in obviously an individual mode, or just generally when you're using your quarterback in any game ever. I'll say, at least from the beta, I just thought about looking on there's on the sidelines, just people always want to think if they update it. The sidelines is still like generic dudes. Like you can see I'm offense and Tyrann Mathieu or whatever will be on the sidelines, but it's not Tyrann Mathieu. It's kind of just like a template guy. I mean, that's kind of nitpicky, but that's always just something from a presentation and immersion side of things that we've always kind of low-key wanted in a Madden game. Still not there, at least from my initial impressions in the beta. I feel like a kind of an OP thing in Madden 20 was when you do the whole A for possession catch, it worked a lot. It almost felt like it was this super glitchy animation. And definitely the A, the hold A to pass, whatever it is, I think it's possession, right? Hold A to possession in Madden 21, you drop a lot more of those on all Madden, which I guess that's a good tune, because it was a little overpowered in my opinion in Madden 20. Now in Kansas City, I have Damian Williams as my example, but the run game feels tuned down, not churning out 4, 5, 6 yards consistently per carry. So that could mean maybe they directly wanted to change the meta, because the meta in Madden 20 was so run focused. They want, hey, let's kind of pass it a little bit, which is, I don't know. It's a little bit weird to make your game transition to a pass meta when Lamar Jackson is your cover athlete, but I'll say that it doesn't feel like you're going to be, I feel like they would do a lot of things in their power to make sure you couldn't win the Madden Bowl with a punter as your quarterback. More on gameplay, it feels like the initial control, especially on it's Tyreek Hill, but the initial control you have after the catch feels a little more responsive this year. It always felt like there was that input lag of I want my guy that's running towards the sideline on a streak to turn upfield really quickly. It always felt like there's I don't know if it was a half second, but you know what I'm saying? It felt like you want to go straight now. You have a chance to get past the entire defensive secondary if you just go straight. And it always felt like, turn, but there's that little pause before you could turn. And it definitely feels like it's very, very quicker to respond. But I don't know, maybe it's just Tyreek Hill. He has great agility, and people with agility that break a certain threshold, like 95 plus agility, whatever, you get a little bit better turn moves and stuff like that, and better cuts. I don't know. It wasn't necessarily a cut, right? It was just a cuts when you're running the route, at the top of your route and stuff. It's not going to be literally what I'm trying to quickly turn with my analog stick, but it feels a lot more responsive, I suppose. All right, so it was a very weird game, but we went into it trying to figure out, does Lamar Jackson play like Lamar Jackson? Well, in my full, it's all, I played on all Madden, I think 6-minute quarters, so obviously the numbers are going to be kind of random in a way. It's not going to be super realistic, but Lamar Jackson only threw it 12 times for 38 yards, a touchdown, no picks, and he ran the ball 9 times for 51 yards. So knowing that, generally, if that's going to be the pace, that if you play against Lamar Jackson, he's going to get 9 to 15 rushing attempts a game, like you would at least hopefully assume that he's going to be a guy that's not going to finish with the weird mobile scrambling numbers we've been seeing, especially in franchise mode, right? Even Lamar Jackson, when they made that slight tweak last year in the franchise, you would see Lamar Jackson, he'd still have like 500-600 yards, 6-7 touchdowns, which is a lot better than what it was before it got touched, where Lamar Jackson might have 91 yards, no touchdowns at the end of the whole season. So it feels like if Lamar Jackson does play like this, you're going to have a guy that might be, a potential 1,000-yard rusher as a quarterback. Obviously, I don't know, playing all Madden, it's short quarters and stuff like that, but you don't really want to see a guy going Lamar Jackson 36 passing yards in a game. Are you kidding me? But he felt like, it literally felt like I was trying to stop a true dual threat. Like, I haven't felt trying to stop a dual threat like that since like the NCAA games, when you're going up against a guy that's going to just give you weird looks and the RPOs and all that junk. Kind of felt like that. So I want to finish off this little bit of because all we can really talk about is gameplay. I'm going to go against the Bucs, because I feel like if you're playing Baltimore, they should have just, gone all out to run the ball on me, and that's exactly what they did. But when I play the Bucs, who don't even really have a running back, they definitely should be throwing the ball a lot, with Tom Brady trying to get it to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, all those guys. So let's see if the Bucs play true to how Bucs should actually feel like in play when you're playing them in Madden 21. I'll tell you, we're going up against the Patriots. I'll give you the stat line at the end here. I'm not fully through the game, but I'll tell you, like on crucial downs, Brady's going to Gronk. If they get a couple big runs, they kind of stick with the runs. It definitely feels like there has been adequate tweaking to the AI play calling when it's, user versus AI. Very noticeable, in my opinion. And I literally played Madden 20 all day before I got this beta to download. I will say maybe there's still a hint too much of the check down syndrome that we felt in Madden 20. It always felt like, especially on the harder difficulties, like they're just doing screens and dump offs for the most part, like tight ends. They're going to tight ends every single time, or running backs all the time. Feels like I don't know, there's still a little residue of that for the play calling, which is something that I definitely think should be tuned. If I'm playing Tampa, they better be targeting Mike Evans 10-15 times a game, not 3 to 4. Also kind of feels like interceptions, like when you go on that, like, how many times when you're playing, especially on all Madden, right? Where it's clearly an interception, give me the interception, but it does one of those like, oh, he dropped it, you didn't. Feels like there's a lot less of that as well, or I just became a god at Madden 21 and I can actually seal the deal with interceptions this year. Having Y as truck is not as weird of a change as I thought it was going to be. Someone that's always traditionally, hey, you just hit up on your right stick to run a guy over. Y is not, it's not a brutal change. It felt like an unnecessary change, but it's, it's not really that hard to get adjusted to, in my opinion. All right, so we finished my second little test game. It's the last one I'm going to run. Lamar Jackson with this Truz ability is insane. We ran so I'm Baltimore, and we ran it 7 times for 91 yards with Lamar Jackson. 24 attempts for Mark Ingram. In the first game, Mark Ingram, I think, had 17 or 18. Clearly, Baltimore, in both games, plays like Baltimore. They run the ball. They just want to go out to run the ball. Going against Tom Brady, I said, I want to see them pass the ball. Tom Brady attempted it 40 times. Lamar Jackson attempted it 12 when I went against the AI Ravens. But when I went against the when I went up against the AI Bucks, Brady threw it 4 times. He had 200-some yards, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. I will say, looking at how they kind of went with their targets, though, 6 for TJ Logan out the backfield, 5 for Scotty Miller. I got 5 for Chris Godwin, 3 for Gronk, 3 for Mike Evans. I mean, it does happen. It definitely does happen, but I definitely still feel like maybe there needs to be some tweaking into your number one wide receivers being the guy that gets a realistic amount of targets a game. There's just no way Mike Evans is not going to get, 7, 8, 9 targets at the least. And I feel like maybe that's an issue. Obviously, it's, again, it's initial impressions. So I'm sure if I play 30 games throughout this beta weekend, you might get a more complete picture. But I think that just summarize it. We're going to wrap this one up. Lamar Jackson, trustability, insane. It's insane. It's super, super difficult, which, I mean, I don't know. I kind of, if you're a user-to-user guy, that could be fearsome. It could be a bad year to go up against mobile quarterbacks. But I feel like, at least from when the AI is controlling it, it's exactly what we've been looking for. Lamar Jackson plays like Lamar Jackson. Tom Brady, and the game plan of the Bucs to just abandon the run and go all out to the pass, which is what they're most likely going to do in real life, Tampa Bay played like how they would play in real life. So it's incredibly small sample size, honeymoon reaction, whatever you want to call it. But my biggest thing coming into this beta and to give off my beta feedback mainly was also to tell everyone that has access to the beta, please, 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 please use the feedback forms. But I want to see obviously we don't know what's going to happen with the Fallout States franchise stuff, right? But I want to see what this whole playbook, AI is going to play different and play you different. How is that actually going to feel? And initial impressions through 2 full games is that the teams that I was going up against played and called a game plan how they would in real life, when that has not been the case in previous Madden. So underline if they truly did improve the AI play calling in this game, that's actually going to be a huge dub. So being, I think, fair, if you took away the brand new scoreboard, could you tell that this is that much different than Madden 20? I don't know how big of a leap I would take right there, but there's no real overt negatives. There's nothing that's worse than Madden 20. I think generally solidly impressed, and I mean rightfully so. When they did, full credit to Madden, when they did that gameplay blog, most people were receptive to it. Most people were like, yeah, this is kind of what we're looking for. So, and the gameplay felt pretty good. And as long, for me, the most important thing was that AI. It feels on point through 2 games. That's what I can relay to you guys on my feedback, my initial impressions from the Madden 21 beta. So thank you guys for watching. That does it for me today, guys. Subscribe. We're getting ready for the Madden 21 cycle. You definitely want to hop on the train. We're getting on our way to 150,000 subscribers. So make sure you hop on now, because I got it. Let's be honest. Rebuilds, franchise mode content, even though not getting much help, not getting much support this year, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to watch that stuff. So hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.